afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John.
And I'm David.
And we're here to talk to you today about
Books.
books. It's not here. You know what I was looking for.
You're looking for a book?
No, I was looking for the handheld penetrometer. No.
Bring the book, John.
Bring a book. John's getting a book. So, what are we talking about today, David?
Well, about books today, John.
Books! Glorious! Glorious books. David, why do we care about books so much?
Well, it's nice to go to a meeting and say, I wrote the book.
I wrote the book. Well, and it's not just that, especially for engineers and architects alike. You know, our entire education, cutting our teeth in the industry, was based on books. And
Yeah.
we have spent thousands and thousands of dollars. I remember the most expensive textbook I had cost $630. It was more than my car loan. It was 3 times what my car loan was. And the teacher didn't even use the book. That's what rattled my cage.
Yeah, you're right. In the last century, it was all about that hardbound book on your bookshelf. Just like you, I've got dozens, over 100 reference books in my library.
And you still use them from time to time.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it's good to go down to the study, go on the shelf, pull the 1 or 2 books you need, lay them on your desk. You've got this, you've got that, you got this, you got it all there right in front of you, and you can use it to make your decisions
Perfect.
and do your analysis.
Well, and sometimes you need that friendly reminder. You need that friendly reminder of certain concepts that, St. Venant's principle. How many times are Castigliano's theorem? They're all important, but how many times do you actually use that in a given day? David wrote this book, so we're going to get to the impetus of all of this here in a second. David wrote this book, this Concrete Strength 1, 2, 3, A Practitioner's Guide to Concrete Strength, and he designed it in a way that can go into your back pocket.
Yeah.
It can be used by junior engineers as well as senior engineers who are sometimes too embarrassed to ask a question, why do we use this equation, why do we use this value? I was with an engineer in a certain DOT, continental United States. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when. And we just got off a job site, literally, and got some strengths came in from the lab. They're 4-hour strengths. And I, came up with the PSI, the compressive strength at 4 hours as like 2750, PSI. And we're sitting there in the Waffle House, and I'm not going to use the accent, because the accent gives it away. But the engineer, the PE, asked me, well, how did you come up with that strength? I said, what do you mean? This is basic, this is P over A. Well, and I want to say that he was testing me, right?
Oh, that could be.
That could have been it.
That could have been it.
He wasn't testing. He just did not know. So for you engineers who are senior level, and you might not know certain concepts, hey, there's certain concepts here, like the worst concept in the world is principal stresses and using Moore's circle. It's the worst thing in the world. And David, illustrates it beautifully. I learned it. I've been through how many degrees in civil engineering? How many places taking it?
At least 3.
This. So, wrapping this up in a nice package, the reason why I push for us writing books so much in the industry, or for our industry, we have a book competition every year, and I am the pain in the ass who pushes for it every year, right? David and I do not see eye to eye on this at all. And the reason why I am so stubborn on this is because our industry seeks education.
Yeah, books are good, there's no doubt. I mean, the education's good, and I think our role here is to produce something like this. We're not after the 450-page, $600 textbooks. We're after the practitioners,
Okay, wait a second. That being said, Amazon charges like $250 for this. Get the ebook. It's just as good. I agree. I mean, our role in the industry is educating.
That's right. It's one of our pillars here at Intelligent Concrete. So, you emphasize it for that reason. I think that's good. If I had any criticism of the competition, it would be the time allowed. That's, It's hard to put out a book in 60 days.
It's 90 days. It's
Okay.
90 days.
All right.
So you got 30 more days, you're welcome.
All right, it's 50% less hard to put it out in 90 days, but
So the reason why it's 90 days, I was very afraid that if I didn't put time limits, unrealistic time limits on my PhD, it wasn't going to happen. When I started my PhD, we were starting out our business. We had just had Sammy J. I was teaching at a high school. I was teaching at a university. There just wasn't enough time in the day to go to the bathroom, much less write a PhD dissertation.
understood.
So if you go onto my if you were watching me back, my Facebook account back in 2013, I wrote a daily blog on 90 days to a PhD dissertation, and it
Missed that one.
Mr. B, I tell you, Mr. B, every day supported me. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to talk about somebody who supported me besides Whitney and my mom and dad and Sammy
course.
J. So I love the idea of it, and the whole concept is, you're not going to do it in 90 days.
Yeah.
Unless you drink a lot of coffee and that's all you do.
Yeah, I get it. No deadline, no result.
Right.
And
And you
get
might as
that.
well, if you're going to put a deadline, you might as well put an unrealistic deadline. And then what happens when you fail and you don't meet that deadline? All of a sudden, do we throw your book in the garbage?
Well,
No.
sort of like research. We search again.
So David and I are writing a book, and we can't tell you the name of the title.
Too bad. Such a cool title.
Right. We started the original title that we had. Well, I guess we can't even use that if we're going to use that as a subtitle.
Yeah.
Sucks for you. You got to stay tuned.
Little teaser. It'll be coming out in 90 days.
It takes the same premise as the ABCs of ASR and the Concrete Moss book,
Right.
where the Concrete Strength 1, 2, 3 is more of an approach to elucidating the derivations of a lot of the strengths and values that engineering properties that we take advantage of,
Yeah.
or just kind of take it for granted that we have this, like splitting tensile strength is the most important, information for designing a high rise.
That's a whole nother video. At least it's a series of
It's
videos.
a series of videos.
So this is a read and learn. This is a look up what you need to know.
And a show and tell.
Yeah.
When I put this book together, I put it together for two reasons. To show the beauty of concrete,
Right.
even when we have to deal with the assessment of damage, concrete damages, or the deleterious nature of concrete. But I wanted it to be for, just like David's book, the junior engineer and the senior engineer alike. For the ABCs of ASR, just like the book that we're working on right now, there are certain ways that concrete tries to communicate to you, the end user, and to the engineer. And with that, there are certain things that you can do to prolong the concrete service life, because we don't care about the communication unless we're trying to make that concrete stronger and last longer.
Right.
So that's the premise of our book.
Tick, 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 tick. I gotta go right, John.
No, talking about. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned. Go Concrete!
Beat asphalt.